All right. Hey, Nena. Welcome, Nena. Hello, Idris Busari. Thanks for being here. My name is Folakemi Odeshola, and I'm an architect. I'm also a vision, clarity, and execution expert. What we're doing today, our topic for today is we're going to try to see how we can solve the problem of unemployment. So we're trying to decrease unemployment in Africa. Nenaya is an Igbo name, so definitely you're Nigerian. Idris Busari, can you tell us where you're from? Jami Tijani is my co-facilitator today, co-facilitator, co-speaker, and everything today. Okwe Great is also here. Okwe is our session, organizer, sort of. So it's good to have you here. Idris Busari, can we know where you are from? Okay, Nenaya says she's in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much. Ibadan, Oyo State. Oh, beautiful. But you were born in Lagos. I'm from Oyo State as well, but I was born in Port Harcourt. So it's good to see you here. I'm going to allow my co-facilitator to speak. Just tell us who he is. Then we can now begin, and then we'll go deeper into why we're here today, while we wait for other people to come. Yeah. So TJ, over to you.
Hi guys, my name is Tijani Jamil. It's good to be here, and I can promise you this is going to be a fun thing for us to do, because this particular challenge is something that is facing everybody. It's crazy, but we basically promise you that you're gonna love it at the end of the day. My name is Tijani Jamil once again, and I'm an accountant. I'm a businessman. I'm a CEO. I'm also a broker in New York City. Also, I have other NGOs that are actually the founder, like aticket.org. And basically what we do is, see into some of these challenges like we're going to talk about today, and trying to make you understand that it's not only government that will do everything, but we can always solve our own problem ourselves too. I hope you guys will enjoy us more than we thought.
All right. Thank you so much, TJ. Let me see how many people are here now. We have a very so we'll wait for other people to come, but we'll build on it, and then as other people join us, then we can now maybe go over it again. As other people join us, we'll go over it again. So what we're talking about today, like TJ rightly said, is what we're trying to do today is we're trying to see how we can solve the problem of unemployment in Africa. So even though TJ and I are Nigerians, Idris Busari is currently in Indiana, one of the 40+ artists selected for 2020. Oh, wow. Well done. It's good to have you here. It's good to have you here. We're definitely going to connect, immediately after the session. Thank you so much for being here, Idris Busari. We're trying to see how we're testing the power of, a particular solution that I was privileged to develop. It's called the Clarity Board system. It is a system that actually solves, what that particular system does is that it solves problems. It solves problems in different aspects of life. I have used that particular system I do monthly clarity workshops, and I help people to solve that problem of clarity. So it's mainly for vision, clarity, and execution. And the problem that we're trying to test it and see how it can, solve that problem of unemployment in Africa. Right. So when I talk to people, in my line of work as a vision, clarity, and execution expert, which is it's mainly personal development, I talk to people about how, all the problems that we have and all the problems that we see, all those problems can be solved, right? We can solve all the problems that we have. And sometimes we keep on blaming some certain parties. So we're going to look at, going to take a look at it today and find out which party is actually to blame, which parties are to blame when it comes to unemployment among the youth in Africa. And these are, so we're going to be trying to see if we can get some volunteers from the crowd, maybe when more people join us. There are different departments of life, right? I always talk to people about the fact that we have 5 departments of life. you know, your relationships, health and wellness, personal development, people development, and you have your work and finance. Now, under
Hello.
the health and
Hello.
wellness.
Hello, Kemi. Yeah,
Hello.
there's a music from Jamie device. Can you please mute
Okay.
your mic,
TJ, is there
Jamie?
music?
I should mute you?
No, TJ, is there music from your background?
Nope.
Oh, okay. And there's none here.
Yeah, I can hear something.
I can hear music actually,
Yes,
but it's not
I think
coming
it's either
from...
one of your background.
All right. Okay. I think it's fine now.
Hear the music. Okay, I think I think it's from me. From your hand.
Okay, the music might be from your end. Maybe there's someone playing music from your end. Yeah, because every time you mute, I don't hear the music again. Thank you so much, Tito. Thank you, Tito. yeah. Thank you so much, Tito, for being here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for that as well. I was talking about the fact that we have to. So why we chose this problem of unemployment, right? We have 5 departments of life as people, you know, as human beings. One of these departments is the health and wellness or well-being aspect of life. This particular department actually has like different scopes, you know, under each scope is like a tiny little area that has massive effects on our health and the total quality of our lives as individuals. Our health and our fitness, you know, is under that aspect. The physical appearance, living conditions, and environment is one that actually affects it a lot that sometimes we don't really pay attention to, and that's the national and socioeconomic environment. It plays a very, very big part, you know, in our own well-being. And that's the reason why we have a lot of people that are moving out now. A lot of people are moving out of Africa. TJ is in the US, and TJ is pulling a lot of our people over to where he is. TJ is just stealing our crowd in Africa, but we are saying no, our people can stay here. And okay, I've seen that. Our people can stay here, and then we can also enjoy ourselves here in Africa. And so that's what the conversation this is actually a collaborative sprint. We're actually going to try to see how we can solve that problem together. So in a few minutes, I'll be sharing my screen with you, and then we're going to build upon this ideology. But the most important thing, and what we're trying to do today, is we're trying to let people know that unemployment, even though it is fast becoming one of the most worrisome challenges amongst the vibrant youth in Africa, there is still hope, you know, despite the struggles and the problems that we face in third world continents, you know, like Africa. There are diverse opportunities that abound, right? Every time that there is plenty of problem, there's also plenty of, you know, opportunities for solutions. There are gaps that we can close. We can fill every industry, you know, there are gaps in every industry that we can close. Okay, and even though there's we have things like, you know, illiteracy, financial crisis, corruption, technology, backwardness, and all of that, there are still things that we can do. We want a solution. What we're trying to do today is to bring up solutions that are not necessarily totally dependent on the government, but we want to see what the African youth can do, you know, for themselves, and that's what we are here for. So let me allow Jamie just, you know, maybe talk a bit about that while I share my screen, and then I would show you, you know, what this whole system I talk about is and how we can build upon this. So I'll allow you to talk a bit about unemployment, Jamie. Maybe you just tell us, you know, what employment, you know, and people in the crowd can also, you know, what do you understand as unemployment? Okay, so TJ as well, what do you understand as unemployment? What are the different, you know, types? Just give us like a foreground, like a, you know, like a background, you know, into this particular topic, so we can continue.
Thank you for that, Kemi. It's really nice again having you as my co-facilitator. And thank you guys for coming in as early as possible. Idris, Fakaya Smith, thank you so very much. This particular problem has been in our system. Even in America, there's still unemployment, and I'm sure Idris can attest to that. There's no perfect society, as we have been taught, and you know, as we know. Basically, if in a layman, let me say mathematically, we can say unemployment is can be an unemployed number of people, divided by the labor force. That is what we all know to be unemployment. But in a layman term, unemployment is just a phenomenon that occurs when a person who is actively searching for employment or is unable to find work, and that is what we know as unemployment. Or let's just say you can't say no more. If someone who is actually eager to work cannot find a job, that is basically in a layman term called unemployment. And there are different types of unemployment, as we all know, and some of us might not have paid attention to all of these things. Also, a very popular one amongst us, but we don't know that it's popular, is the educated unemployment. This particular unemployment is, in a simple word, is just you finding a job you not finding a job in an industry where you actually belong. This is very popular in Nigeria. You're not holding relevant in your own industry. For example, I'm an architect, or let me say I'm an accountant, and I couldn't find a job in an accounting firm. Then I decided to go to an embroidery firm, when I'm not even into such kind of, what is it called, or let's say I'm a physicist, or and I could not find a job in an area where I could be relevant. Then I find myself having to go into the banking sector. I read linguistic. I could not find a job in a media house. Then I decided to move into bank. Maybe I studied even Yoruba, or I studied Igbo, and I'm finding myself I'm working in the bank, or I studied Swahili in situation where we have other people from other part of the Africa joining us. It's very, very common. This is called educated unemployment. You're actually unemployed, but you don't know that you're unemployed, and this is where the factor of passion comes in, because you just see yourself doing that job and you're not passionate about that job, and before you know it, maybe after working a year or whatever, you get tired of that particular job and you want to move to another job. So basically, that is an unemployed state too. But aside that, if you're going to explain unemployment in another term, because you can find unemployment both in the city and in the rural area. An example of the kind of unemployment that is popular in excuse me, in a rural area is a kind of unemployment whereby, let's say you have a subsistence farm, let's say in your village or in your house, or let's say for example, I live in the village, and I have I'm self-employed, which I have a farm and everything. And on that farm, I'm supposed to be probably the only one that should be working, or probably just me and my wife working on the farm. And we found ourselves having maybe like 10 people doing the job of just 2 people, just to think in our own head that we keep our own self busy. It's also an unemployment, because this is a form of unemployment whereby you have an amount of people who are supposed to do a particular job, not restricted to that number, but you have them saturated. There are just too many doing that particular job. This is also very common. Like, for example, you see that even in our banking sector, like the job of secretary, someone could have like 3 secretaries. Even in if you check what is it called, the federal government of Nigeria, a senator can have like about 10 PAs, and by the time you start checking, what are their functionalities, what they are doing, you discover that majority of all those jobs that they do are kind of things that maybe 2 people could have done. But in order to create, job unnecessarily for people, they create different offices that does not even, attach anything, relevant to that particular office. This is also a form of unemployment. Then, well, before you address any problem, if there is a fight, for example, something basically must have caused that fight. So unemployment did not just appear. There are other things that could have been responsible for unemployment. These are basically that we have causes of all of these things, amidst which we have the frictional unemployment, we have the structural unemployment. We have classical unemployment, we have voluntary unemployment, we have demand and deficient or cyclical unemployment. In a layman term, the easiest one that we could understand is the voluntary unemployment. When you're unemployed voluntarily, basically like you left that job without you being fired. Probably you're tired, just like what I said about when I was explaining unemployment after time. You decide to just leave a job basically because you're frustrated, because you don't like it, or because of passion. You're not passion driven with that job, so you left it. So it's one arm of unemployment, which is called voluntary unemployment. Frictional unemployment. Frictional unemployment is a kind of unemployment caused by the time people take to move between one job to another job. Like you're working on a particular job now, then maybe you got in through BSc, and after growing, you want to see yourself moving to another job. Maybe by that time you already have your master's. You want to see yourself moving again. Then the time that you use in that job while you're working at a particular job to move to another one is also an unemployed state, because you're not satisfied at that spot where you are. You just want to get what you want to move to the next stage of your life is another thing. So the time that it takes you to get that your desired job is also an unemployed state. If someone gets fired even at a particular job, the remaining time before that person get another job, that waiting period is actually called frictional, unemployment. That time that you don't have a job before you get another one is called frictional. Then structural unemployment. Structural unemployment is a very, very popular one, and it's actually the one that can last longer for a number of years. This one, we find it a lot in Nigeria. I'll use the example of Nigeria because we are a nation where we don't have, let me say in Africa, it's not even about, Nigerian problem is peculiar to all other African countries too. Because they call us Big Brother of Africa, and I believe whenever the Big Brother is sharing, the younger ones to have a taste of it. Structural unemployment, like I was saying, is a very popular one. These are is resulting from industrial reorganization, typically due to tech changes rather than influence of the market demand and supply. Take for example Ajakuta steel mill, and somewhere in Kogi State, and the thing has been like that for many years, has been moribund. Imagine when it was actually functioning and it was actually not even to optimal level. The people who are employed there will actually see themselves as employed. At least maybe let's say 15 to 20,000 people will see themselves as employed. But the moment that place is grounded, every family attached to those people will be, unemployed too. And this is why it's very dangerous for structural unemployment to stay for a very long time, because it will affect the development in the country. It will affect a whole lot of stuff. And the same thing applies to the banks. When policies comes in, the government might come and say, oh, if you don't meet this particular stuff, you are grounded. Boom, the professionals will not be able to find themselves another job. They will not be able to do any other thing. And all this, states of states, let me just put it, is called structural unemployment. Then the classical or real wage unemployment. This one is very, very common in Africa. This one is, a situation whereby they're asking for a secretary job and you're a lawyer. you are bigger than that position already. But someone who is a lawyer, okay, I remember this very popular one by Dangote, when people were applying for driver's job, and people who had PhD were already applying for to be a driver in Dangote. This basically is called is regulated by classical or real wage unemployment, whereby you're more qualified by the job that is available. And in that situation, when you present your CV, they'll just tell you, sir, we're very sorry you were qualified for this position. And in some situation, people don't mind, and they take it like that. Because they just want that thing, and they just be like, what, I don't care, just give me, I just want a situation whereby I want to leave my house and come here and be able to have a particular income. It gets that level at times. Then the last one I'm going to be talking about the causes before we move to other things like the effects and everything, is the demand or deficient or cyclical unemployment that I spoke about. This is time of unemployment caused by recession or decline in economic expansion. This is very, very common. We just got out of two in Nigeria and other African countries too. Leapfrog from it, partially. The reason why I use Nigeria as an example is because, we're an oil producing nation. And I think Angola too, felt it so bad because Angola too is an oil producing nation. And when there was recession, it hits badly into the market, and it affected, the whole population in terms of, the rise in the rise in dollar, the rate at which the oil barrel was sold and everything. All this would have a speedy effect on the economy, and it's going to trickle down on how it affects us as a people. So at this point, I'm going to hold on and hand over back to Falakemi to see into the other criteria.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, TJ. TJ was, I call him TJ. His name is Tijani, but anyway, TJ is what comes as in readily to me. So what TJ just did now, he just gave us that whole background of what, unemployment is. And I'm happy about this because we see that there are different, sometimes we think unemployment is one thing, but we realize that it's something else. And you may be here and you may have a job and you will still fall under one of the definitions of unemployment. Okay. Idris Busari says, I studied broadcasting and PR, but I had to retain as an IT help desk technician, and I'm sure that was when you were starting out. And he also says there's unemployment everywhere. Underemployment is even bigger. Exactly. So underemployment is one of the ones that TJ was talking about, and it really hit me. People doing jobs that are below their qualifications and experience. And that's what, a lot of Africans, are ready to pick up their stuff and relocate, and go outside the country and do things like that. Big ups to all the Africans who are, who are living, outside the country, in developed countries, but are actually holding down their own, doing real professional jobs. But there are a lot of our people who also, don't have that, that opportunity. Let me put it that way. And so these are the kind of things we want to be able to solve today using this system that we talk about. And I'll be sharing my screen. We're going to be building upon this ideology, this idea, that I talked about. We're going to be building upon it together. We could have filled the entire screen, the entire sheet, but I think it's better that we do it together so that everybody is, in on this conversation. It actually affects every one of us. So it's good that we're all here and we're going to do it together. So we're going to be building on this together. Okay. I don't know if you can see my screen really well. I feel like if I present, I won't be able to type in it, which is why I am doing it this way. Yeah, if I present, I won't be able to type in it. Okay, so please just let me know if you can see what I'm sharing with you, first and foremost. Let me know if you can see what I can share with you. Just let me know in the comments if you can see it, what I'm sharing. We're going to be doing this using a particular system, and many of us might know what this is. I don't know if we've all heard of vision boards. Has anybody heard about a vision board before? So we're going to be trying to tackle this particular problem using something that's called a vision board. One of the unemployments, the form of unemployment that TJ talked about that really struck me, which is why I said a lot of us here might be employed, but still, maybe unemployed, because we may have employment in a particular industry right now, and that may not be the industry where you actually want that employment. So it means that where you are employed, but you are unemployed in the industry where you want to work. And that's just, that's just something else, So we're going to be trying to see how we can solve that particular problem collectively. I'm going to introduce you to the three-step phase, the 3 steps, that we can use, that would, so I'm just going to be facilitating and we're all going to be providing the solutions together. So I hope that everybody is ready. I'm going to need your fingers. You're going to be typing like really fast in the chat section. I want that comment section. I want it to be roaring with responses, because I know that, you know, as Africans, like if we all sit down now and we say, oh, let's just buy granola and sit down together or something like that, like all the answers to what we want will just be coming forth. Everything will be coming forth. So I know that we all know, you know, what these answers are. We know what the answers are. And so I just want us to be able to develop on those answers and just bring them forth. So I'm going to be talking about, so the thing called a vision board, right? What is a vision board? A vision board is just, it's a visual representation, you know, actually it's just a visual representation of your vision. So if we as African youths, if we have a vision for the workforce, like for how we want employment to be, and there are different reasons why this unemployment, you know, persists. There are different reasons, you know, and the one that we know most of the time, the one we talk about all the time is the fact that it's the government's fault, right? But there are different other reasons why unemployment can, you know, be in our country or be in our continent, sorry, and you know, and these are the things that we're trying to solve. And so, if we're able to solve this problem of unemployment, the benefits are just numerous to African youths all over. Some of the benefits will be because I mean, there are different ways by which you can work right now. COVID-19 came, but we saw how remote jobs also sprang up, you know, so it's not necessarily anything that has to do with location or, you know, where, for example, I'm here in Nigeria, TJ is in the US, Idris is in the US, Nenaya is in Lagos here. So, you know, we can work this way because this is actually work. Imagine that we're being paid to do this thing that we are doing. You know, this is work and this is what we want. We want fresh solutions, fresh ideas that are not necessarily dependent on, you know, these factors that we usually blame, you know, for the reasons why we have unemployment. So I'm going to be building a table here. I want us to quickly go into, so we can manage the time that we have. I want us to quickly go into this particular phase where I'm going to be building this table. I'm going to be building the table and we're going to be filling in, you know, with our own solutions, you know, like, okay, what do we think is going to be the solution? You know, what can we do? And all, but I'm going to be leading you. So first and foremost, I said I was going to talk about the 3-step process that we're going to be using today. It's called the clarity board system, right? Let me just write that down. It's called the clarity board system. So I'm going to be doing the note-taking and the facilitating, and TJ will be helping me as well on the other side. And so that it's easy for you to just take pictures of the screen, you know, and you can take your notes where you are as well. But this is how, you know, I love what I'm doing, and this is how I think that it would make all of us faster. So it's called the clarity board system. Called the clarity board system or method, and what it does is it's mainly a system for vision, clarity, and execution. So it's a system for vision, clarity, and execution. It just helps you know, anybody who has a vision to be able to clarify, you know, to get clear about their vision, to be able to execute that vision. And so the process that we're going to be using, you know, in this system, there are 3 steps, right? Like I said, there are 3 steps. So let me just write down what those 3 steps are. The first step is that we're going to be evaluating this problem. TJ has already given us like a background. You know, he talked to us about a background, but we're going to be doing, you know, we're going to be doing it together now. And I'm going to be asking some questions. Like I said, I want us to have like a very bubbly room. So get ready to answer. Nina, I hope you're there. Idris, I hope you're there. TJ, please help me check who else is in the room.
There's DK
while
Jonah,
I am setting up
DK Jonah,
DK
yeah,
is in the room. Welcome, DK.
Someone else is here, but I can't actually see the person. Maybe Okwe can, but really appreciate them.
Thank you so much for being here. And anyone who wants to, if you actually want to also, you know, come up or anything like that, if you want to come up and you share with us at any point in time, you can just click on your screen where you have the, I think you should see the share your, I mean, come live or something like that, or share. Okay, what would they see? Please help us out with that. If anybody wants to come live to talk to us or to join the session, how can they join? Maybe you lead us through that, okay? I don't know if Okwe is here.
He's here, yeah. I'm sure he will address that.
Okay. All right. So the first step is for us to holistically evaluate the problem. So, and the problem that we are going to evaluate today is actually unemployment, right? We've already said that. The second one is to strategically, I'm just going to list this, but we're going to take them one by one. We're not going to do it together. So, but I'm just going to, write it out, what it is. So the next one is to strategically project and represent the vision. So we're going to be building a vision board together. Just in case you don't understand what it is, by the time we're done, you will know what it is actually. Let me know. Has anybody built a vision board before, a personal one or anything? Is anybody in our audience here who has built a vision board before, who knows what it is? You can just try to put it in the comments for us if you know what a vision board is. You help me look out for if anybody is typing. Okay. And what kind of vision board did you build? I'm going to strategically represent the vision. And the last one is that we have to validate the vision so that we can know, like, what's the, what's the likelihood of success actually. So that's what that one is for. So validate the vision to know the likelihood of success. So what we want is, we want things that work. Likelihood of success. We want things that work. Success. Strategically represent the vision for Africa, for African youth. Vision. Let's evaluate the problem. Okay, so these are the three steps that we're going to be using, and I'm just going to let me just quickly create another document here. I'll just quickly create another page so that I don't tamper with this one. All right, and I'm going to clean this one under here so we can build our table. Now, what I want us to be thinking, to move forward in this, I want you to tell me, who is to blame? This question is very important, right? We asked what unemployment was. TJ has been able to give us, that background, and let me first of all ask, is there anybody here who has dealt with or who has had an experience with unemployment before in Africa? Unemployment in Africa. Is there anybody who has had, or is there anybody who is currently unemployed? I don't think it's anything to be to be ashamed of. I have been unemployed. It was more, I think it was voluntary. It wasn't voluntary. It wasn't like I wanted to be unemployed. It was that I had to be unemployed at that particular time because we had to, move countries. Like I had to be somewhere else. And, when I got there, the whole trouble of, the certificate and, you need to do this and, you need to do that and all of that. While we were trying to just sort all that out, time just went, so I was unemployed for like an entire year at some point.
Wow.
So I kind of know what it was like. Another thing again is I've been fired before. I've been fired from my job before. What happened was that it was a misunderstanding, actually. It wasn't my boss that fired me. It was somebody who felt like he could take, powers into his hands. He had a fallout with my boss, and he felt that I was the reason for the fallout. I had skills that he was providing, before to that particular company. And so when I got there, my boss realized that I had those skills and decided to use my own skills. It was cheaper for her to do that because she was paying me a salary. So she decided to use my skills. And this person just got threatened and just felt like, this person is, taking my shine, taking my slot. So that was what happened. So he fired me. But my boss, I was reinstated the same day, of course. So that's my own story of, getting fired or being unemployed. I was unemployed at that point for maybe 5 seconds. That kind of thing. So if there's anybody here who has, had you've been unemployed before, you could just let us know while I'm setting this up. But basically, who would you say is to blame, for unemployment? Who is to blame for unemployment? And there are so many parties to blame, but I want you to just start mentioning, which parties would you say, who is to blame for unemployment?
Okay, can you see if any one of them can come up? Because I know it could be very stressful sometimes trying to type. So
Yeah.
if they want to come up, if it's easy, if you know you want to come up, you can just
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to come up,
If
so
you
you
want to
can
come
chat
up,
with
there's
us,
actually a
or you,
button
and if
on
you want
top
to
of
put
your
your
screen that says share audio and video. All you just need to do is click on the button and then you can come up to talk. Then if you don't want to share your audio and video, you can just leave a comment in the chat section, and then I can assure you that all the speakers are seeing what you are typing, so we can respond to that. Okay, Idris is coming up now.
when you first of all asked the question about who has built a vision board, Idris said he has. He built one for his
Oh, Idris
career.
has built
Then
a
he's
vision board.
he
That's
wrote something
amazing.
about Michael Otedela College of Primary Education,
Oh
MOC.
no! Oh, did that go in there? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, it wasn't meant for us. Okay, we're gonna skip it, no problem. Then when you ask the question about who has been unemployed, you say me. That means
Yes,
the
I
unemployment
have
is
been.
You have, wow. Okay, give us the gist.
So, when I graduated from high school in Nigeria and stuff, I couldn't find anything that I wanted to do. I had a passion for radio and TV, and I wanted to be a mass communicator. But what I could find then was a copy boy. So I was a copy boy somewhere around the Senate building area in Unilag. So I'll go
Oh,
to the
wow.
stairs and start asking people, "We want to make copy, want to make copy, copy, copy." And if they want to, I can take it from them and take it to where the copier was and make copies for them and then bring it back to them wherever they are at, or they can follow me to the place. So that was, I would say that was my first official job.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Annie said
That's
I've been
amazing.
unemployed before and presently she's still unemployed. Wow. And DK Jr. said I've been employed. Having
Oh,
employed.
wow. Okay.
No, sorry. Having employed people, I think some people are not ready to work. I get people that do not have skills, train them, but some people are
Oh,
not
okay.
willing to work. They lack the discipline, and I think we're still going to come to that.
Okay. DK, do you want to come up? DK Jonah, do you want to come up and talk to us? Idris, is Idris still here? Please stay up.
Well,
Idris, stay with us.
said I can only hear Idris. Oh wow.
All right. So DK just mentioned something. You know, I asked who or what is to blame for unemployment. I don't know if you can see that particular screen. TJ, please help me tap on that screen and just let me know if it's something that is view-worthy, if people can see it.
I've seen that.
Okay. So who or what is to blame for unemployment? DK just mentioned something. She said, being somebody who employs other people, she's realized that some people are not ready to work. So DK, does that mean that you're saying sometimes it's the individuals themselves, right? That are to blame,
So
the individuals.
So what Falakemi wants
that
here
are not
is
ready.
that we want your participation. We want you to engage us. We want to be able to solve this together. So he's asking a direct question, and we'd love if each and every one of us supply answers to this. Yeah, DK said yes. So as individual, sometimes the
Okay,
individual
so
are
DK
trying
says
to
it's okay.
Oh,
That's
he
great.
said he's trying to join to come up. Okay, maybe waiting for approval.
Okay. All right. Nenaya, please join us. Come up. And you don't have to share your video. Maybe some people are still in
It's
there
okay.
like PJs and but you can come up so we can hear your voice. You can share your audio. You could just turn off your video. So okay, so DK says having employed people, I think some people are not ready to work. I get people that do not have skills, train them, but some people are not willing to work. They lack discipline. Oh, amazing. So Annie says sometimes unemployment stems from the lack of direction. Lack of direction. That's of the individual, right, Annie? That's maybe the individual. And who? What's to blame for that lack of direction? I don't know. Let's get something. Okay, Nenaya, if you can come up, please do. Annie, if you can come up, as many people as possible. If you're not going to come up, then let's. The chats you have to rely on typing. Don't you feel better speaking? Anyway, it's still not working. Oh, okay. DK. All right. So sometimes I'm surprised that
back.
okay, DK is a talker. DK, come up. Let's come up. Idris Busari. All right, DK, come up, come up. You don't have to share your video if you don't want to. So that people are not, maybe that's what doesn't want, maybe that's why some people don't want to come up. Nenaya, please come
Can
up.
you hear me?
Let's have this conversation.
Yeah, we can
Annie,
hear
you
you.
can come up
Idris.
as well.
Yes, I
Yes, I
think in
can.
hindsight, I would
can hear
say
you.
that back then I lacked the connection and I lacked the confidence. And I mean, I could have found my radio job, maybe working a copy boy as at the radio station too. But I just didn't have the right connection then. So back then I would say I just blame myself for my unemployment, but I still tried to find something to bring, to bring bread to the table.
So
Okay, I like that. I like that. So there's always that thing on the individual's part as well. I think it's very close to what Annie was trying to say. Annie said something about the individuals. She said it stems from a lack of direction.
I
think
totally
was what
agree
she
with
said,
that.
A lack of direction. So yes, yeah. Like if people had but who's to blame for this lack of direction? Is it is it the education? Is it I don't know what exactly. Is it the society? Is it the government? Is it the family system? What exactly? Who is to blame,
because
or what is to blame for
Idris, for you to be a radio presenter or anything, you have to be able to kill stage fright. So if confidence is not there, then there's a contradiction of identity.
Well,
I'm actually surprised that a lot of people are not saying, "Oh, it's the government."
I'm very
that was
surprised
not the first
too.
thing that we said.
Well, I've
I
always
didn't
been
know
a
it.
talker back then too, when I was in Nigeria, and
Welcome, Annie. Can you hear us, Annie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Oh, Annie,
Welcome.
welcome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon, Annie. So you said something about not having direction. So like that direction now, who would you say is to blame for that direction? Is it the government? Is it people? Is it individual? Like, is it the family system? Is it the society culture? What exactly is to blame?
Looking at the way unemployment has been, I said it stems from lack of direction. You find out that when we are in school, sometimes we're not taught the right things in school. We're just taught basically things that are outdated. We're not taught how to flow in the society when we step out. So it's just basically on the surface level. Then when you finish school, when you leave school, you come out to society and you realize that a lot of things are not at par. Like what you are taught in school is not what you are meeting out here. Start fighting for yourself. And sometimes the family you come from, you don't have opportunities to be exposed to things that you should know. Like now, after school, I realized that it seemed like there was nothing for me immediately after school. There was nothing for me. So at first I was into contract jobs. I would try and get jobs. It was not a permanent stuff. Like I remember working with Nigerian breweries, Canon, just trying to do just for the hustle to get money and to be able to pay my immediate bills. Yes. So there was no uncle there. There was no mentor that could just grab on to like, okay, tell me where to go, teach me how to. You understand? So a lot of things are just missing. So I started the job. I started working. Like, these hostess, you go to parties, those little girls that attend to you at parties, you can sit down here, stand there. Yes, this kind of stuff. Then after the job, just get paid 5K, 10K, and you just solve some problem. So afterwards, I cannot remember where I dropped my CV, but I got a call from one agency, and I was asked to come for an interview. I got there and came out well. I started working with Smile Nigeria. So I found myself in telecoms. Then getting myself there, I found out that this is not what I want to do. This is not what I want to do. This is not what I want to do. So I remember when I got the offer for the interview, a colleague of mine on the job at then, that was Nigerian and British American Tobacco. She was like, you don't have to go for that kind of job. It's not get you what you want. It's not give you the money you want and all that. And I'm like, okay, on this job that I am now, I'm not certain about tomorrow. I'm not certain about next week. It's just basically now. So I wanted something more permanent. You get. So I joined the company, and along the line a lot of things happened. I was not giving me my best. You get, because I was not on the right path. I was not giving it my best. Yeah, there was no passion for it. So I was just doing basically because I want to earn, because I want to give back to my parents, and stuff like that. So so basically at first it's just lack of
Thank you so much.
direction at first. Lots of direction.
Okay. So I'm just going to write lack of mentorship and direction, lack of mentorship, lack of direction. So from what you said, Annie, I picked 3 things from what you said. You talked about the education, the quality and content of our education. You talked about the family, that there's, sometimes the kind of family you come from sometimes can hinder, that employment that you're looking for. And you also talked about lack of direction, lack of mentorship and direction. Annie, you've left. I wish you could have stayed. You can still come back on. DK, talk to us. DK is a talker. DK can take over this entire session.
I was on Chrome. Chrome wasn't working, so I decided to go to Safari as the Chrome wasn't working.
Oh, really? And but Chrome is the recommended browser.
I went to Safari and Chrome didn't give me that prompt, so at least moving on from that worked. All right, for me, I would say it starts from your childhood. When it comes to someone being unemployable, as an introvert,
so that's family.
Introvert, but I'm an introvert that never realized that it was okay to be an introvert. So I was trying to be someone else, where I did not accept who I was. So you have a situation where many people are trying their best to be who they are not, and they've not discovered themselves. So that lack of self-discovery impacts them, and they have to go into the world, and they have expectations from the world. So I wanted to study law, and my dad was like, this one that can't talk, why does she want to study law? He now decided to be I hope he doesn't listen to this. He decided to be a bully, and he would invite his friends over, and my parents helped me with that. He would invite his friends over, and they were all in the military. So imagine me sitting in front of officers, giving a debate.
Miss Bakoya.
Okay, Nina is here. Hey, girl. And then he will have me discuss a topic. And I was fidgeting at first, but before you knew it, I'll be arguing with the men, and all of them will be eating. So my friend now called me one day and said, please, father has put us in trouble because my dad said we must all start doing it. So my dad helped me to build my confidence, because he realized that I had a voice, but I did not know I had a voice, because I was trying to be extroverted by like every other person. But although that was done, it still impacted me negatively, because in class, no one knew my name. No one knew who I was. My name was in the boys' register. I was just a person that no one knew at all. So I did not really interact with people. I did not know how to engage. I've always kept my... Going into uni, I got 197 in them. That's another story for another day. And then I just called the school and said, do you have French? They said no. So I said, what course do you have that is close to French? They said they had international relations. This is the first time you're here now I came to school. And I went and I studied the course, not knowing what the course was about. At all. So I went in blindly, not knowing what the course was about. But one thing about me is I've always been a fighter. So I went in and I realized that I love the course. Immediately after NYSC, I did not have an opportunity to... I was like, I want to work in international affairs. NYSC sends you to a place. They sent me to a bank. I served in the bank. I loved it. I enjoyed doing it. The fighter in me came out. I started working in the bank. They moved me from marketing to customer service. And anywhere I was just loving it and excelling. And they're like, you're good at customer service. Okay, let's move you to HR. I was like, I got into HR. HR was different from what I was supposed to do. I now said, you know what? Okay, now it's time for me to sit down and think about what I want to do. So I went for a master's in HR. Having gone for a master's in HR, getting a job in HR in London was tough. So I went back to customer service. But then I kept always complaining about the way politics was done. And I really wanted to do a PhD. So I went back for a master's in international human resource management. But I was going to study a topic that many people did not feel comfortable about. So family interfered again. And they kind of said, no, you can't study terrorism. You can't do this. And I'm like, if I don't study it, I'm not doing any other thing. That's it. So all of us decided to be stubborn together. But then I fell in love with my creative style and started understanding my creativity. And I realized that I had actually killed my dream for the media. as an introvert as a child. So I started going into podcasts. So that period where I was thinking about, that period where I had time to think, and moving away from home to London, where I did not have external influence directly speaking to me every day, gave me an opportunity to think. I am sure most of my friends that will listen to this will say I'm very creative. I would never have described myself as creative. I now embrace my creativity, add time to spend time with myself and discover myself. People don't have that luxury. I found out that I enjoy doing branding for people. It's actually something that comes to me naturally. People have done it for people in the past, and to me, it was just a natural gift. So I realized that rather than following my dreams, I was trying to build a career to be able to become financially independent, to raise a family, and to what society has said we should do. The bills will pile up if you don't. Dreams will not pay your bills. So we have to understand that while we're pursuing our careers, we can still have our dreams and pursue our dreams. So right now, I now decided, okay, I'm not doing a PhD again. Everybody just kept quiet and they were like, what is this girl saying this time around? Oh, I want to do podcast and blogging. My father was like, ha, again? But they supported me. They were just like, again? Support didn't come. It was like, you've changed the goalpost again, and every goalpost you change, you are passionate about it. How is that possible? I said we have to thank God for giving me passion. But I like the fact that although they did not agree with me, I was still confident in what I wanted to do, and I was still pursuing it, and I was learning. So one thing I love about the internet, so one thing we did not have growing up was the internet. Now we have the internet. So I had the opportunity to learn at my own pace. I realized that I may not have been the sharpest tool in school and learn the way every other person was learning, but by understanding that I had a different learning style and embracing it, I realized that when I go for interviews, I'm not competing with the next person by my side, which is a mistake I see as an HR generalist. When I got my job in London, the band to ask me, how can you be in an interview and you're in the assessment center, you're making every other person talk? Is that possible? I was like, that's just my personality, and that's how I got the job. Every other person was trying to sound smart. I was observing people that were not talking and bringing them out and making them talk. So I realized that I have people development skills. But you discover by observing and spending time, and we don't have that luxury because of the noise going on around us. I'm going to keep quiet now. Thank you very much.
That was a great one.
Thank you so much, DK. Thank you. That was really amazing. I picked a lot of things from what you said. You talked about family. You started from childhood. You went on to self-discovery and acceptance, and then you now went to interference, like how family sometimes interferes with your own interference, like how they interfere with passion. So I don't know how to coin that. Is it interference with passion? Let me just put it there, like that, and then we can now move on from there. Nenaya, would you like to? Thank you so much, DK, for your submission. Amazing. Nenaya, who would you say is to blame, or what exactly is to blame for unemployment?
Well, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
I can hear you.
I said government at first, but after listening to what Annie and DK have said, I've come to realize it's deeper than just government. It's also as we individuals, when you don't really know what you want to do with yourself. And like Annie said, sometimes it's lack of direction. I totally agree. And I say it's my own personal experience. Yeah. I remember when I was in secondary school, there's a particular day, I was the first test of my school. And our proprietor decided to call all of us, that she wanted to talk to us one by one. We're about to graduate. She wanted to know what we wanted to do with ourselves. So when it came to my part, she asked me, what do you want to do with yourself? And I said, I want to be a textile and fashion designer. And she looked at me like, why textile and fashion design? I said, that's what I want to do. I love art. I like painting. And she tried her best to convince me. Do mass comm. No, ma. Do law. No. Do all this art stuff. I said, no, I don't want to do that. She looked at me like she tried for like 1 hour to convince me to do other artworks. And I was like, ma, no, I want to do art. So should I say fortunately or unfortunately for me, I was ready to go to Yaba Tech to go and study textile design, but God had other plans and decided I should go to university, and I studied sociology. Now, even that school, when I went there, they told me they had arts. When I got there, they called me back and said, we don't have arts again. You have to choose something else. So I was so upset because you know what you want to do, and then the whole world is trying to turn everything upside down.
Yeah.
And I finally chose sociology reluctantly because I love anything that has to do with society, culture, and all that. But I don't regret it now, even though I still wish I did my art and my drawing. So putting all together, I can say society also makes things hard for us. Apart from the government not providing the necessary tools that we need to make education better, society does. Like now, DK said her parents were holding her. My parents didn't hold me. It was just situations that they wanted me to be in a school, not a technical, like we see polytechnic as not good schools, right? But
College.
hey, I think people need to also understand that not every child has to go to university, because there's some kids that are actually good with just their hands and creativity. Like Falakami, you said you're good with your creativity, you're multi-passionate. So I believe that apart from the government, which should provide the necessary things that will help education and also people getting jobs required, society too should also make it easier for everybody to decide what they want. And also schools should also have, like when Annie was talking, I was like, another solution schools should apply is they should have guidance counselors, people who can talk to kids right when you're about to graduate to find out exactly what this kind, okay, what do you want? This is what I think would be good for you. Like they do abroad. We don't have it here in Nigeria or in Africa. I don't think I've had any thing for school. So that's something else we can also recommend.
Nena, something is cutting off.
Yeah, Idris.
To guide you, and then society comes and is back.
Okay, all right. So let me put that down. We have two other things to move to, so we're going to move fast. Thank you so much for everybody who's Idris has given us like a lot. DK said Annie's own and Nenaya now. So Nenaya said government and society. So and I feel like the society, this lack of mentorship, sometimes it's in fact that lack of mentorship. I think there are so many burden bearers in that particular place, because I feel like the schools, like as Nena mentioned, that they were supposed to like maybe have like people who are equipped enough, teachers and guidance and counselors and guidance counselors who are equipped, and all of that. So there's the government, there's the society, there's the family. TJ, can you give us some more? TJ and I have been talking about this, and we talked about some amazing, interesting ones.
I'm glad
as well.
I'm glad Nenaya
before we move to the next section.
She and it's so unfair. Somehow, when the top four is not even government. So I think now that I'm loving it. I'm loving it because if you ask an average Nigerian, why is there unemployment in Nigeria, or why is there unemployment in Africa, we start blaming the government. But now that we're having this interactive session, it's beginning to open up people's mind that the government is not even our problem. Yesterday, we're having this conversation, and I said, that's why I'm not always surprised when other people from other part of the world come to Nigeria and they cut away with whatever they want to cut away with, because they could see the opportunity. But we inside that country, we cannot see. And the same thing applies. Idris would actually say something to this. The same thing applies to this. There's something about when you're looking for a job. Number one, you have to first of all look for the opportunity. Where is that opportunity is? Where are those opportunities? Like, you need to be able to identify the opportunity first. Just like, when we're having this conversation from the beginning, that before we can discuss, after we've discussed unemployment, before we can have solution, we need to actually know what is the root cause. So it is when you know the root cause of a problem, then you start seeking solution. And now that we're trying to, get, those things now, we're beginning to see that the government is not even our problem. What about religion? What about religion?
Yeah.
Even religion restricts us to how far we want to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, you see, someone who is a Muslim cannot work in some factories where, like, you cannot work with maybe any place where they produce alcohol, or any place where they sell cigarette. Like, someone was telling me that she once worked with British American Tobacco. A Muslim will not work there if the person is religious. You understand what I'm trying to say? somebody who is a Catholic will actually have a restriction to some other stuff. If somebody who is also a Muslim will probably say, "Oh, I don't want to stay close to pigs and whatever, so I can't work in a piggery. I can't work on the farm where they produce all this kind of stuff." You understand what I'm trying to say? What about our culture? Our culture also restricts us to so many things. Somebody who is afraid of traditionalist cannot be an actor. When they ask you to come and carry what is it called, sacrifice, you say, God forbid. You know, just like we always do. But it's part of you being an artist. You do all those things. You do all those whatever, or you learn how to do incantation.
Yeah.
So the person's what is it called, gifts will actually drift off because the person has religious whatever, or the person has this cultural bias that, oh, this thing is going to do this, this thing is going to do that. So the person will create unemployment for his or herself, trying to look for job in another place where there's no passion. What about insecurity?
Jamie, can I interject, please?
All right, no problem.
Now, what you talked about, all of it disappears when you step out of the shores of Nigeria. It disappears because we retrain. Okay. We go back to school as adults, but we don't do that in Nigeria. If you're over 35, 40, some people don't even think of going back to school. But there are opportunities for older people to step back into colleges and universities and retrain. We do that here. No, but we are not willing to do that on the continent.
No, it's quite different, and I'll tell you why. I live in New York City, and I can arguably say is the hub of everything in America. You know that. You know, as an example, I'm a citrix engineer. I'm an accountant, right? And the truth about it is I'm a broker. You know why I ended up being a broker? Because I love to meet people. I discovered my talent. I discovered my passion that I loved when I talk to people, people listen to me. When I advise people, people listen to me. So I have to be able to, I identified my gift a long time ago. And I'm like, okay, even if I want to do any job, I have to do that job that is, you know, aligned with my talent, with what I feel I can do. You understand? I can convince people. If you have $10,000, I can make you invest $10,000 to be, you know, $500,000. I'll tell you what to do in America, and you know, before you know it, in less than
I think we need to talk.
You get it. You know, it's the truth. You understand what I'm trying to say? You know, you have to be able to identify your gift. When I tell people, it becomes like a miracle. I've seen people working as doctors, nurses. They don't own a home, but after, like, when I see their paste, and I'm like, Oga, you're in Nigeria. What are you waiting for? You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And they'll be like, really? Then I put them through, boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, in less than a year, they become homeowners.
Oh, wow.
And your house start having equity. What do you do with the equity? You can put the equity back into business, creating a second job. But how many people know this? And that boils down to information.
Yes.
You understand? If you don't have the right information, we cannot just attack Nigeria. You'll be surprised if you go into our perspectives as a country. 90% of what we use is copy and paste from here. We have mortgage system in Nigeria. We have everything.
Yeah,
but the question is, what the people that are in charge of all these things, you know, as if we are cursed, you know, they make it not to work. And that is why we're trying to see, you know, that's why I'm so happy that majority of the solutions we are creating are not even in line with the government. You know, it has to do with individual. Just like we said, sir. What about even pandemic? Pandemic is also to be blamed. Do you know that? I remember somebody was saying, I think it was you or somebody that said you can work from home.
Yes, you can. I mean, India and the Philippines have taken advantage of this call center system. Nigerians are very.
I'm sorry. America actually did that to them. It's not that the job they applied for the job here. No. And I'll bring your mind to that if probably you don't see it. We're still gonna get there. The issue of trade unions and all of those things are the reasons why America steps out of its border.
Oh, that's another one.
Because in America, the minimum wage is how much?
Even $7.25 right now. People are arguing for 15 right now, but
people are arguing for 15. each state pays differently. I think the highest paying state so far here is Seattle, where Oga Bill Gates came from.
Oh,
right?
okay.
That's the highest paying state. And despite the fact that it's 15, many jobs pays more than that. There are jobs here that pays $30. There are job when I was a Citrix engineer, they pay me $200 an hour.
Oh wow.
So you understand what I'm trying to say? So that's what I'm saying, that you have to be able to figure out that job. Then, but above all, just like under family, if you're not passionate about it, no matter how much you earn, you're not still going to be happy. So you have to be able to create, like you have to be able to identify that job that even when you spend 5 hours, 10 hours there, you are happy doing what you're doing. Like for Lakemi, I'm sure for Lakemi is always busy with an architectural job than even with Clarity. But the thing is, she loves the Clarity system. She loves to meet people. She loves to, and she has passion for it. So she's not going to even be overwhelmed by that. And the same thing with what DK just said. It took her time. She was taking masters in this, masters in that. You see, all those things are time. When I moved there, I had 2 scholarships. So I was asking myself, I had to sit down, I did self-evaluation. Do I really want to still go and waste my time, or I need money? I asked myself that question. I sat down. It wasn't easy. I have to tell you the fact. It wasn't easy. Yeah, it's scholarship. You're not paying nothing. But I had to ask myself, if I'm committing all these years into all this, will I be making money on the side?
I start making money.
Yeah, when will I start making money? You need to prioritize. And it's not that I have not been to school. It's not that I can't speak English. Even if you can't speak English, you know there are millions of schools here who are ready to take you on how to speak English. In 1 year, you will know how to do all of those. So yeah. Sorry.
All right. Thank you so much, TJ. Thank you, everyone. Trying to manage time.
Yeah, security is another problem.
Okay. That's true. For example, in Nigeria here, and I think in a lot of other areas in Africa as well. In Nigeria here, we have these issues of the issue of security, or should I say insecurity here. And all of a sudden, farmers are not going to the farms any longer because they are not safe there. They're not guaranteed of safety, or they don't feel that they are guaranteed of safety. And every time we see it in the news and all of that. So yes. Security is also, let me just add that up here so that I don't battle with the thing too much. All right. So now what I want us to do is we have a few minutes left, but it's still very possible for us to get something done. Now, these are all the things that we've talked about. We talked about all of this. We've been able to bring, so I mean, like you see what evaluation. So the first step in the Clarity Board system is for you to evaluate. And we have in this evaluation, it's been so extensive. We've seen, all the different angles, like, and I'm happy that the government wasn't the first one, because the African youth, everything is always the government's problem, government's fault. But I'm happy the government wasn't the first one. And I'm happy that we also have, like different people, talk about this. There's something that is very, very important whenever you want to, if you want to. So we've gotten, for you to get clarity, if you have a particular vision for something, for you to be able to get clarity, you have to first evaluate. And that's what we've just done. The next one is for you to strategically project into your future, into the future. So the vision of the future for the African youths, of the future, for the African youths with respect to unemployment. So what do we say? What do we say? With respect, or should I say with respect to employment, because that's what they want, really. So what we want is, employment. So if these are all the people that are to blame, and by the way, I see Bibi Odewale here. Bibi Odewale, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us and coming live. It's good that you're here. You also give us, some other things. So the thing is, we need to strategically project and present, represent that vision, of the African youth. Now, representing this vision, there's something called the vision board, right? And I'm happy that Idris says he's built one before. And I'm sure some other people in the audience have also built. We're going to try to build something that is called a vision board, right? We're going to try to do that. And then after building this vision board, the last step would be to validate these visions that we have, right? So, and the reason why we are building the vision board first before validating them is because we don't want a situation where, validation, you now start to tell yourself, is this thing possible, Sha? I don't think this thing is possible. I don't think we can do it. It's not possible. It's not possible. We want a situation where you actually you're allowed to dream and you can see your picture, and then after seeing that picture, you can now decide for yourself what are the, it kind of forces you to think about what to do to ensure that that thing comes to pass. So these are the problems that we have seen. Now, are there solutions that we can see within this particular? So we're taking these as our consideration. These are the factors and the areas that we are considering, right now. So if we say on the part of the individual, what's the vision? What can the individual do? What can this individual do to ensure that he eliminates, the fault that comes or the blame angle? So these are the kinds of things that we're going to be doing now. So, and if you have responses to any of them, so anybody who is not up with us right now, up here with the audio or the video, and you're in the chat section, you can actually just pick a particular part. You can say education, family, society, government, just pick one and prefer a solution. So in the religious aspect, what do you think we can do, in that religious aspect? How can the African youth, despite their religion, still be able to, work in like certain environments? I know somebody who is she's a mixologist, right? And normally mixologists, they do a lot of what's it called now? They mix drinks, we all know that, and they do a lot of alcohol mixing and all of that. But she actually is a very dedicated Muslim. So she always has her, her hijab, kind of, it's always on, and she doesn't do alcohol. She does mocktails, as opposed to doing, so she's found a way to creatively do that job that she loves, and she doesn't deal with alcohols at all because it doesn't agree. Her religion won't allow her, won't permit her, her belief will not permit her to do that. But she's found a way to still maintain the kind of job that she has. And so those are the kind of creative ideas that we want the African youth to be taking, to be building. I think we have just about 7 minutes before we wrap up. So I'm trying to see if it's possible for us to, how can we build like a picture now, right? So the individuals, this individual, the person has to be, okay, so for an individual, the person has to be, and we can use anything. Let me take this box away so that we don't box it, but we can use anything.
Right now, America's pushing for skill acquisition over 4-year college and stuff. So I think what the individual can do is go and get training. Figure it out in your mind what you have a passion for and go and train for it. Be trained and get a skill that you can start up. You don't need somebody to give you the job. You can create the job and you can be the job. So for an individual, they need to retrain, get skilled up. That's what I would say.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So training. So vision boards actually you have pictures, you have words, you have all that, in vision boards. Because of the time that we have, I probably just use words, but normally we have words. So this is a vision board right here behind me. Actually, I forgot to mention that. That's a vision board right there behind me. So if the vision board for like the African youth, if we were to build one, so we would say, according to what Idris just said, we would say training, and I know he also mentioned retraining, and he talked about that when he talked about the fact that getting to the US, like he had to retrain, that kind of thing. He had to go back to school and then retrain. So training on part of the individual. Bibi Odewale, can you tell us about, for example, I talked about religion, so I'll just look for words to just, put there. But on the part of the government, like what do you think, as in, so just give us like a word or two that signifies the vision, like this is what the government should be focusing on right now. This is what the government should be focusing on. So give us like a word or two that signifies what the government should be focusing on in terms of, Bibi Odewale is Bibi. Okay, she's here. Yeah. Okay, we heard you. You unmuted the other time. We heard you. And then any other person in the chat can just help us with putting some solutions there. So I can just grab it. Yes.
So Ine Naya said education.
Oh, okay.
Have mentorship programs and guidance counselors who will guide graduates to get the
Okay.
picture for their future career.
Okay.
Did you get that? Have mentorship programs and guidance counselors. Then
All right.
Eniola
Yes, I
mentioned
got
for
it.
religion, individuals should create a niche that doesn't go against their religious beliefs. Yes, then Annie said for
Okay. So they should
government should
align.
have key functioning structures. They should make sure the structures are accessible. So government should have key functioning structures that are accessible. That's Annie.
Accessible.
And there's also one for
Okay,
society.
accessible key functioning structures.
Said,
All right. Thank you so much, Annie.
Nenaya said, society, families should learn to understand their significant other and help them towards their desired career.
So yeah, Nenaya is
Yes.
talking about maybe in a situation of marriage like that now, or yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Nena. Thank you. All right. So we see that the solutions are already popping up. Solutions. I must say that these are actually solutions that we don't necessarily need the government's input, even though sometimes I feel like, especially if you go the entrepreneurial way, sometimes policies can affect you and all of that. But I don't think it's something that's that is so difficult. I don't think it's something that you cannot overcome. So that's just the whole, so if you had a vision board, imagine that we had all of this. I'm still, okay, so Nenaya was talking about marriage and parents. Oh, yeah, talking about the family. So significant others should help them towards, so how do we term that now? Let's just say understanding, family understanding and support. Exactly, family understanding and support. And these things, these are things that would now later on be converted into images, right? These are things that were converted into images. If I was going to draw an image from here, I would just talk about, let me say something like passion, because a lot of people want to, work in areas of their passion and all of that. So let me take this beautiful art, photo, and just put it here. It's not my work, it's my passion. Exactly. And I think it actually represents what the youth, what the heart of youth, is actually screaming towards right now. So if we're going to build a vision board, this is how it would look like. It has like the solutions there, and then it also has like the images, the words, so, and imagine it's supposed to actually inspire the African youth, like towards, should I say, inspire the African youth towards, what's it called now? Towards, motivate them towards, working for the right. So every time that you think about your work, imagine that the African youth builds a vision board for their work or for their future job or future career, and it really doesn't matter. I don't think age is actually really a factor, except for things like maybe football, except they now do, like old people's football or something like that, which is not, I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be really cool. So that people can get to keep their, careers and all of that. But I'm just trying to show how this kind of thing can be built, okay? How we can build this. So this is kind of like what the African Youth's vision board would look like, right? Let me just put like a colored background so that it kind of gives us a base for this. So, but I'm just, these are solutions. Is there any solution on the part of
we can look at
the government? What can the government do?
Styles, not focusing on academics also, and looking at life skills.
Yeah, that's the same thing Idris Busari said.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. Different, so effective, different learning styles.
I think above all of them.
Different learning styles. Yes, because I think
government has a lot of impact to play too in that. Government in the sense.
Yeah.
Not even only the curriculum.
It's more like adjusting the curriculum.
When it's just like talking about technology, right? When you say the word technology, it's very big. That's the same way government is big. Government can decide to support the SMEs so as to make sure that they sponsor them towards, okay, if you get this certification from us and employ these people, you have this certain funding. You understand? So if funds are done through SMEs, and then they are certified SMEs, and SMEs know that okay, they have to deliver, to meet a particular criteria. Then they will always employ people. Also, government should actually invest a lot more in vocational studies. Nigeria is not built in, or let me say, Africa is not built in such a way that you can have vocational studies. And look at China. Majority of their expats that are in Africa that we celebrate today, they're not even they're not school graduates. They're just vocational people who are naturally gifted, prisoners, and all of those things. Here in diaspora too, they do that. They train people. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to even have anything to get yourself done with so many things. People pay. That's what we
want to kill the African parents.
Orientation. We have to be able to change orientation. We have to change our orientation. Everything doesn't have to be. You have to be a doctor. You'll be so surprised here. There are so many plumbers that make more money than a doctor. It's not even they say. I know. When you do a handy job, you make more money than somebody. Okay, for example, a store owner here in New York City who own a store whereby they sell just vegetables, they sell oranges and everything. Let's do the math. For example, if that person on a daily basis alone sells maybe oranges of just $300, they multiply that per week, that person will make more money than somebody who is doing 9-to-5 job. I don't care what that person does. You understand what I'm trying to say? And mind you, they don't even make them. I have somebody who has a store and makes nothing less than $25,000 a day. 25,000, not 25, not 2,500, $25,000 a day. The guy owns a supermarket. Tell me, a plastic surgeon will not see customer that will pay that in a day. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, and I've seen a photographer who just takes like all this website stuff that makes about nothing less than $40,000 a week. So it depends on you defining what you want. The government has a whole lot to play. If we have an industry available to train people, and those also people that train people will be attached to the government, it will have a lot to do rather than depending on the government solely for so many things. Also, I feel like organizations have a lot to do. Companies, if companies want to help solve when I mean organization, I'm not talking about government parastatals. Like all of us here, imagine all of us here are CEOs, and if each and every one of us own a company and we employ people, do you understand what I'm trying to say? And from those employments that we do, we're creating job opportunity. And if there's any channel from the government for you and I, for somebody like us to grow, then it will help us. So these are the things that government are supposed to be doing, within its confines, to make sure that the economy is balanced and not just wasting money on unnecessary projects. Well, they have their reasons for doing that, just to siphon money. But in order to check all those things, all those measures, the best way is to equip the individuals, the companies, the SMEs. If the SMEs are well equipped, the backbone of America is SME. The Google and all of it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, TJ. Our time is actually up. Let me just read. Love Day Agriga, thank you so much for joining us. Love Day also said I think he was the one who talked about effective communication in family, and now he just talked about breaking the norms. I know that if we go ahead, we'll have like so many other things. Let me just quickly add the one that Love Day just talked about, and our time is actually up. The last thing that we were supposed to do actually was to validate this. So whatever dreams that we have, imagine that this was the vision board for an African youth. The person would now need to validate those things. And validation just talks about, you know, how can this thing work? That's what validation is all about. How can it work, right? And that's, so the third one is just validation. I'm just going to say it because our time is up already. I could have shown you on screen, but this is what we have time enough to do today. Thank you so much, Okwe, for being here with us. Validation is just about passion, authenticity, clarity, roadmap. Do you have the roadmap? Do you know the cost for what you want? Are you competent enough? Do you have the skills? Do you have the commitment? Do you have the contribution? Who else does it contribute to aside yourself, right? Do you have the public awareness? You know, do you have enough information about what you want? Feasibility, how feasible is this thing? Then another thing, the last one, most important, do you have to depend on the government to be able to do this thing? Or is this something that you can quickly and easily adapt? You're not stuck anymore. You're not confused. You're not overwhelmed. You're not underproductive or unproductive where you are. These are the things that actually would bring about beautiful solutions for the African youth. And with this, I hope that this whole session with the whole Clarity Board system, which is basically about evaluation, vision, visual representation and validation, I hope that you've been able to see that we can actually solve our own problems. And it's a very creative method. You know, imagine that it wasn't even the government that was really the problem. And I hope that you can also use this to solve other problems for yourself. If you would like to reach me on Instagram, you can reach me at the Vision Clarity Expert, and the Vision Clarity Expert on Instagram. So at the Vision Clarity Expert, TJ is at TJ_Quest. Okay, so TJ_Quest. And with this, I think I'm handing over to Okwe. Okwe, we're handing over to you. Thank you so much for being a wonderful session manager for us today. Thank you so much for every other person that was here as well. Everybody that came up with us. It's been a pleasure being here with you. Thank you for being here. And I hope that this has,
hello everyone. Thank you very much for being a part of this session.
Well,
it's very
Okwe,
engaging, and I believe all of us have learned a lot. Please, before we leave, just beside the chat icon bar, there's actually polls. So please kindly click on it and then just select one of the two options. We just want to get feedback for the session. And then the camp next is still on. So we have another session later in the day, another sessions on stage. So we invite you to join us. Thank you. Please remember that you can connect with the speakers. And remember to connect with the speakers through their
you can take snapshots.
social media handle, and then the conversation can go on from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Okwe, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you, Okwe. Thank you, TJ. Thank you. Bye, everybody.